Zach, let's start with you, because Darren Jones not particularly positive about the Green Party there, saying there's no new policies.
Well, I'm not particularly positive about this Labour government. So although I think he's right about the economic vandalism of Farage, let's talk about the Labour government. I think the most striking line today was when the Prime Minister said politics is about who you keep in your mind's eye. Well, we know who he doesn't keep in his mind's eye. He doesn't keep pensioners. He doesn't keep children who are in poverty. He doesn't keep millions of people around this country who are getting poorer. Their living standards are being squeezed while multimillionaires and billionaires are getting richer and richer. So I think the real question is, why won't he protect nature? Why won't he protect the NHS? Why is he only protecting the wealth of the super rich?
But why is reform cutting through to an extent that the Prime Minister's calling a conference about them, not you?
I think it's absolutely absurd that the Prime Minister has called a conference in response to Nigel Farage. I think what would be much better...
Okay, member of the media elite says, why are they able to cut through after having given them 30 years of unalloyed fucking massive coverage that he has not deserved or warranted in any way whatsoever? Yeah. How could this possibly have happened? Why aren't you a party we've largely ignored over that same period, even though you have had a member of parliament during most of it? Why is no one listening to you as I take the microphone from you?
It's so true.
We're going to trump Farage into office and then ask, how did this happen?
Better than calling a conference would be to actually change people's living conditions, to tax multimillionaires and billionaires and spend that money on our public services, to stop saying he's learning all the wrong lessons from the Liz Truss government. If you invest money to fund unfunded tax cuts, that's a terrible idea. But right now, what the Prime Minister should be doing is investing in our public services in the same way Attlee did after the Second World War in a response to a crisis. That's how you get an economy.
But the difference is Attlee was an actual Labour Prime Minister. Whereas what this man is like a hobgoblin Tory.
We should look at the climate crisis, COVID, Brexit, all of the things that have happened to this country. And actually, the Prime Minister should go, this is the moment to be spending big and investing in the economy, because that's going to create jobs, tackle the climate crisis, and stop the rise of the far right.
Gawain.
Sorry.
Labour have 403 MPs, Reform have 5.
Yep. And Keir mentioned Nigel, 16 times in his short speech? The guy is fixated, isn't he? Completely fixated. So, from our perspective, it's very funny. Nigel turns up and he could fart in a room and the Prime Minister would get excited. It's entertaining. Now, of course, I mean, we've only set out a number of policies, not the vast gamut of the whole public debate, but it has caused consternation. The fact is, we've come in and said, look, we are broadly free trading, we are broadly laissez-faire. However, the reality of globalisation has meant that many communities have suffered. These are the communities who traditionally voted Labour, and they've looked at the Labour government. By the way, the idea of talking about unfunded stuff, the fact is this government arrived, claimed one thing, claimed there's 22 billion hole, they've got up to 35 billion, there's trillions in government debt, and they're worried about a little bit here and there. They have not prepared, they are not ready.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not that they've just done evil shit. It's that they've done such inconsequentially financial evil shit. Like, they decided to make life more difficult for the poorest in society for literally no real reason. Like, the amount of money being saved is like a pittance. A couple of billion for the 2-child benefit cap. Like, what the fuck? It's nothing. It's minuscule.
Yeah, 5 billion for the PIP cuts as well. And they're making it sound like a big deal. So people are getting it in their minds. Oh, benefits are unaffordable. The welfare state's unaffordable. I'm like, no, it's eminently affordable. And the amount that's being spent on it is a tiny amount of money in terms of the overall gamut of public spending. To hype this up to its level, it's just Cameronism. It's just Osborneism all over again.
Amazingly, I agree with you. We know who the government don't like. You didn't include farmers in that. Or businessmen, but you claim that they like billionaires.
Well, they like businessmen.
No, they don't.
Like
They're driving them out with their tax rates and their non-dom stuff. They're actually driving money out of this country. So you're wrong on that.
Well, I think they're
no, I've got no problem with the billionaires leaving, but your fucking money's going nowhere.
And on top of that, they don't have millionaires and billions in their mind. Like millionaire farmers, the ones paying inheritance tax, because only millionaires pay inheritance tax. Top 4% of estates.
Like, it's so annoying. We saw when it suits them. They'll take yachts off rich bastards. They'll take football clubs off rich bastards when it suits a geopolitical end. But apparently we can't possibly touch it when it's non-doms, just taking all of our money to the Cayman Islands.
public money to private equity, like KKR.
No, I'm sorry. The non-dom rules are driving out many of the wealth generators and the taxpayers of this country. The top 1% pay 28%.
No, the wealth creators, the workers aren't going anywhere. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, literally. And even then, like, all of this figures about people leaving, just totally baseless. I mean, of what, 0.2% of millionaires are said to have left? And even then, I don't even believe those figures necessarily, because their evidence for this is just some LinkedIn locations that they've tried to corral through some, like, think tank that's been set up for the super rich. Like, come on.
You don't like them, but they are very important.
I think it's always important when reformers speaking to talk about the fact that since 2019 to 2025, they took £2.3 million in donations from fossil fuel companies. No wonder they knock net zero.
I
care.
Wait.
The public care. You should have a banner underneath you saying who is paying for reform to speak.
You claimed yesterday 95%. That's rubbish.
It's 93%. 93%.
Is this what they call triggered?
Yes.
I think this definitely seems like some snowflake material, right?
According to prospects, it's 40%. You're talking balls again.
Well, the Smog have released it
regularly.
Wait.
I'm not having Sky News fact check.
Can we just...
Yeah.
You're talking balls, good sir. Honestly, he's going to offer him out. He's going to say, "You will meet me on the heath in the morrow."
Bring your pistols at dawn. Great minds, Kev. Great minds.
One moment. Do you think Nigel Farage is being opportunistic?
No, in the sense that there's a little bit of that. It's fun to poke them with a stick. But at the same time, he's been talking about most of these things for a long time. The transferable tax allowance, that was in a UKIP policy document in the 2007. The child benefit he was talking about a year ago.
The Prime Minister U-turning
But he put them all together in a speech.
And suddenly we have Nigel Farage talking about it.
Well, yes and no. As I say, the child cap he was talking about last year. The transferable tax allowance, he was talking about 15, 20 years ago. These are putting things together in one go. What Farage is supreme at is during recess, he comes out, has a press conference. 2 days beforehand, he dominates the agenda. We're talking about it now, 2 days later. He completely dominates the agenda.
He's not supreme at voting, though. He didn't even turn up and vote against the two-child benefit cap. So he can say all he wants on TV.
And he didn't even turn up for the look. If there was one thing that Nigel Farage had to do as a member of Parliament, was to turn up to the debate surrounding the readjusted deal with the EU thing. Right? That was debated in Parliament. He wasn't even there. Look, you're Mr. Brexit, mate. You've said this is a betrayal of the British people, and you couldn't be bothered. Why are you in politics? Why do you want to be a member of Parliament?
Literally, he's just for feathering his own nest at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Voting.
Hold on.
He didn't vote against it. Does voting matter or does it not?
I have to say,
Zack, why do you think it is that Nigel Farage is cutting through? Because he is cutting through with working class voters, and it is interesting.
And
Why
on
do you
that
think that
point,
is?
Yeah, he definitely.
First of all, by working class voters, we mean retired people who are from poorer areas and who did have working class jobs when they were working, but who have more asset wealth than actual working people today in a lot of cases, but they happen to have socially conservative views, right? Like, their areas are poor, certainly poorer areas, less overall funding for the councils and for local amenities, right? But the people themselves have more asset wealth than working people who are largely voting Labour, Lib Dem and Green. So, second of all, is Gawain Towler's neckerchief symbolic of working class support?
I think you'll find it's a cravat.
Is cutting through, so I'm not arguing on that. They're leading the polls at the moment. I think when you have populists, they don't need to talk about facts and information. They can just tell a powerful story.
Oh yeah, did you see Farage go? I've never once said that I was tried to portray myself as a populist.
Well, the thing is, it's because he didn't talk about populism with its correct definition. He said, I've never once been a populist. I've always had unpopular opinions I've tried to make popular. But that's not what populism is. Populism is a rhetorical strategy of the people versus the elites. What he's mistaking it for is popularism, which is about just triangulating what you believe to be the median position on everything.
Or indeed, he might be mixing it up with popularism, which is when you try and win the votes of trees.
Farage is talking misinformation. On the left, we also need to learn from that. We need to tell powerful stories, but our stories need to be based in data, science, and evidence. So when I talk about reform donations and Gawain just goes, no, it's not true, we need people to fact check that. Otherwise, reform just come on. Who is holding them accountable? Who is making sure that they are not lying to the British public? And who is being transparent about where they're taking money from when they have policy positions?
There's a law. You have to actually state where your money comes from. There is a law.
Yes, which is why we know where it's coming from. So the media don't talk about it enough.
Right. Okay. I have to say one thing.
Yeah.
One of the reasons the Green Party haven't cut through is they haven't been able to do so. And in many ways, much as I disagree with Zack, he at least fights, and one doesn't see that from your other people in the party. And congratulations on that.
I'll take that as an endorsement.
Well, yeah. But fair enough. However,
won't help me though.
there is a point that, as I say, we are not embarrassed. We do not believe that net zero is a good policy in this
I
country.
think you should be embarrassed to be climate deniers.
I'm proud of wanting this country to do well.
In Lincoln, they're going to lose 12,000 jobs because of your mess.
We will
Sorry,
come
Alex.
back to you for more friendly, and we need to keep it friendly disagreement.
No,
Right, the shadow.
no friendly, more anger, more conflict. Give us some content.
Yeah, and also we need to keep it friendly. He just came as close as you can to swearing without getting kicked off. You're talking balls, good sir. Like he did the whole thing, and you didn't interrupt and go, come on now.
People are asking about this weird character that we've got on the TV in front of us right now. And it's made me realise we've forgotten something.
Oh, we've got to check which school Gollum went to.
We have got a school check, right? So he went to University of York and studied philosophy, so it's not exactly like the most prestigious of universities, but it's like a very good university. But he did go for the private school, which is called Claysmore School, which is the most private school sounding name you've ever fucking heard in your life.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just a G.K. Chesterton bit.
Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.